Well, the guy that was responsible for the shooting at the Family Research Council, he pled guilty to, I don't know, 3 counts of something. I don't know. I don't have the article in front of me, but I would say this, that a lot of things about that story are pretty suspicious. And I'm just throwing the idea out there. It seems kind of a big coincidence that right after the Southern Poverty Law Center, I mean, not right after, but um, a few days before the incident, Tony Perkins and a lot of these cohorts of the Family Research Council, they were foaming at the mouth because they were labeled a hate group. And what I heard was that the people, the higher ups of that organization, were trying to find a way to discredit the Southern Poverty Law Center. And they had a summit in Colorado Springs a few days before the tragedy, if you want to call it a tragedy. And then a few days after that, well, actually, then we see what happens. We had a deranged gay dude hyped up on something. I think he was hyped up on could be narcotics. It could be, I don't know. But I tried to do a lot of research on this incident, and it's becoming quite difficult. The more I dig in and trying to find out who this guy is, and I try to interview family members, and nobody wants to talk about this guy. This guy's just he's like a mysterious ghost. And I did verify that he but he was a volunteer at the gay center in Washington, D.C. And he volunteered there for not that much, but he was there, and that he had a very peculiar, strange, he did exhibit some strange behavior now that some people recalled, and they told me personally that he was acting pretty strange the day before. And so this guy gets a gun somewhere. I don't know who gave him the gun. That's another question as well. But he got a gun. I think he bought it. That's what we're being told, right? And I'm trying to find records on that, but I'm just too busy with other things. I lag behind. And he got a gun. Let's just say that he got a gun, and he went to one of the most surveilled areas of Washington D.C., right in the middle of the capital of the United States. The president's limousine drives by there all the time. And you expect a guy to just walk up with a gun and start shooting people? Huh? So this guy walks up to the headquarters, and in front of witnesses, right? The most stupidest thing if you want to really commit a lot of murder, you want to kill these people because you hate them, you will find a way to do so without people stopping you so you can achieve your crime. Because according to the reports and the court documents, it looks kind of like he was, I wouldn't say brainwashed, but there's a way to get somebody to say things that you want him to say. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not here trying to promote a conspiracy theory or anything, but I have my ideas of what happened that day. And he says to the court, I did this because I hate them, because they are anti-gay, and I want to shoot them and smear their faces with the Chick-fil-A sandwiches because they are a hate group. And a few days before the incident, we have a summit meeting up in Colorado Springs with Tony Perkins, who is a CIA op. Yeah? I didn't know that was it. Well, look it up. He is a specialist on counterterrorism. He has worked with terrorists before in Iraq, in Latin America, and other places. I just want to let you know, I mean, the head of the Family Research Council has expertise on terrorism. And so, a few days before the event, we have a secret, not really secret, it's kind of known within that circle of that meeting. And the meeting was about how to find a way to discredit the Southern Poverty Law Center. The meeting was also attended by the president of the John Birch Society, because they hate the Southern Poverty Law Center, because obviously the Southern Poverty Law Center rightfully called them racists, because they are. So what happened was they decided, I think, to do something about it. And you might say, Jose, it's crazy to think that the Family Research Council would shoot its own security guard. Well, yeah, it's crazy. But if you're crazy enough to tell a live audience that gay people should be exported, crazy enough to believe in all these conspiracy theories yourself, you might as well be crazy enough to be a part of a conspiracy theory, or a conspiracy, not really a theory, like an act of conspiracy. It's not far off. All right, but isn't it kind of, I don't know, kind of weird in a way, not weird, but kind of obvious? It's obviously suspicious that they immediately took advantage of the situation and blamed it on the Southern Poverty Law Center. You might want to recall yourself that that's what happened. I'm not trying to implant any ideas in your head. By the way, I'm not selling any books or anything like that about this. I don't really care about whether people believe me or not. But I do have questions about that. And you know, somebody with the kind of connections that Tony Perkins has to David Petraeus, director of the CIA, you know, things can happen, all right? If you have David Petraeus on speed dial, you can do a lot of things, all right? I'll just say that. But hey, it was a really nice performance that this guy gave at the Family Research Council. It's just like directly out of a screenplay. Guy comes up, a crazy gay guy comes up, he's all doped up. That's what the FBI agents said. He was doped up on something. And when they try to drag or draw some blood from him, they couldn't find anything. But the psychologist who interviewed him said, this guy is doped up on something, but I don't know what. I know, and people know, this is common knowledge, that the CIA has drugs that they can use to make people hallucinate. And those drugs cannot be detected in the blood or in the urine. So, there you go. That's knowledge. I mean, that Bush used it to interrogate people in at Gitmo. In fact, the person who told me about that was he was an activist from that group that always I forgot the name. But he was an activist. He was an anti-Bush activist and a liberal and a gay guy. And he told me about it. And he says, yeah, they have these serums, and it's well known. And I talked to a former CIA pilot who's a family friend, and he said, yeah, Jose, we have that. It's common knowledge. So I'm not saying that they did use this on this guy and to make him do it, but it's really easy to do it. If you have those connections, why not use them, right? That's all I'm saying. It's not that hard to pull off a stage attack. It's been done before. I mean, Hitler did it. Hitler bombed the Reichstag, blamed it on Poland, on the communists, then he was able to, grab some power, get sympathy. And that's what Tony Perkins is doing. So, but he didn't want to kill anybody, so, being a Christian that he is, he just told the guy, you're going to go into... Because, if you just want to shoot these people, go and shoot them. But yet, they wanted to make sure that the political plugins were there to make sure that this is a scene, right? This is a political show that you're seeing. This is, a scene from a movie, right? It's not just some crazy gay guy went up there to shoot everybody and, for vengeance. He had to get a bag full of, I don't know, there were like 18 or 20 Chick-fil-A sandwiches, and he had to stand in front of everybody right there. There was a bunch of people. All these witnesses were watching this happening. And he said, I have a Chick-fil-A bag. I'm here to kill these people because they're anti-gay. Bam, bam, bam. He shoots the security guard in the arm, right? Not in the chest where you're supposed to shoot him, or in the head. And he gets wrestled down by the security guard. And that's it. And then, of course, the right-wing media went nuts about this. They were like, oh my God, the gays are going to go after us. See, this is what happens when the Southern Poverty Law Center, this is what happens when you call us bigots. You get these crazy liberals after us, and you're going to kill Christians and crucify us like they did to Jesus Christ. Whatever. But you don't have to believe me. I mean, this is my own thought, all right? I'm just thinking out loud here. And I'm just laying out some questions for you to ponder. But just admit to yourself, it's pretty easy to pull this off. If you were Tony Perkins, of course you're going to take advantage of this. Let's just say that. Let's just say that this whole thing was real. Of course they're going to take advantage of this and say the Southern Poverty Law Center is to blame. And they did that. And they tried to discredit it. Not only that, it was during a election season. And they were trying to boost up Mitt Romney, get him ahead, and say, look, the violence is not just, these anti-government people, these conspiracy theorists, these extremists who believe that there are black helicopters following them. It's not just them, it's these gay liberals who are also terrorists. And immediately they use the T word, right? Terrorism, terrorism. No, it's a gay guy with a bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches with a gun, shoots a security guard in the arm. That can happen anywhere else in America and nobody would care. But it happened there. And it's terrorism. It's terrorism. And the media, Fox News, immediately called it terrorism right there in front of everybody. A hate crime. But no, that terrorism. Terrorism, terrorism. That's what they said. 5 minutes after this whole thing happened. Terrorism. I don't know. Tony Perkins has a lot of connections with Fox News. He's buddies with Murdoch. But, I don't want to say anything. I can't prove it, physically, but not far-fetched.